What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my new career mode. This is episode number 7, and we start today's episode off with a game against Roma here, away from home, as we travel to the Stadio Olimpico for this match against Roma. But I want to say real quick, today I uploaded the first episode of my new career mode, so it's Saturday today for me, whilst I'm recording this commentary, and the support on episode 1 was just absolutely extraordinary, and I want to say such a massive thank you, right? Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for that. It was my most liked video on the day. Like, within a few hours it became my most liked video I've ever put out on YouTube, and that's just absolutely insane. So I want to say a massive thank you for all support on that episode, and I'm sure on the episodes I've uploaded after that as well, from 2 to 6, by the time I'm recording this commentary, those would have been uploaded by now, obviously, for episode number 7. But I want to say a massive thank you for all support on the first episode. It was absolutely insane, and I really do appreciate it. Still, we take on Roma for the first game of today's episode, and the first couple of chances fell here. Roma looking really strong early on. Obviously in the Serie A there are a lot of decent Italian sides, and Roma are one of those who I think we could struggle to beat, especially away from home, and this game was looking like a really difficult one for us right from the first half. There weren't too many chances, to be honest, in the opening hours worth of play, but the ones that were falling to Roma. But just past the hour mark we had a good chance ourselves here. Quagliarella's shot almost curled into the back of the net, sadly just wide the post and behind for a goal kick though, and one of the final chances fell here just 15 minutes before the end of play. Quagliarella goes down the left hand side here, tries to take it round Spolly, succeeds in doing so just about, then tries to curl it into the far corner, and it hits the post, and the Roma goalkeeper ends up catching the rebound. It was how the game would finish as well, a goalless draw at the Stadio Olimpico. Not the most exciting of games, to be honest. It was a 0-0, and as you'll see by the stats as well, not the most exciting. We did have more possession, more shots as well, but unfortunately for us, 0 goals each. And again, as I've said before, just ignore the pass accuracy for some of these games, because apparently we had, I think it was 61%. That was rubbish, absolute rubbish. But even so, my player of the match was Maximovic for that one, and it was such a poor game, in all honesty. Maximovic won it, but honestly, I could have picked any of those players, and you'd still be sitting there scratching your head thinking, really? It was just a terrible defensive effort. Spolly for Roma played pretty well as well. He locked down the defence for them. Maximovic did it for us. I just chose Maximovic because I thought he was pretty solid at the back. And there you go. Still, we take on Sassuolo for the second game of today's episode here. The second of 3 games of Sassuolo travel to take us on here at home. Right now, our home form is impeccable. We've won every single game, so we want to continue that with a win here. But the first chance would fall to the away side here as Baselli goes down the right hand side for them, takes it around Balanta and swings in the cross. It takes a deflection, but eventually is flicked backwards, and Flores' strike goes just wide of the post and behind for a goal kick, as Sassuolo almost scored with the first attack of the game. But from the goal kick we pass out from the back as per usual, exactly what we'll be doing for the entire series most likely, keeping hold of the ball, making sure we don't give it away silly with silly long balls towards strikers who may not be that good in the air. But regardless, we just pass the ball out from the back. Quagliarella finds Muru down the left hand side. He tries to take it round the fullback, succeeds in doing so just about as he wins the ball back here, drills in across to the centre, and who's there to pop it in the 6-yard box? Who else but Alberto Pawlowski? Another goal for our star striker right now. He came in the summer transfer window, and I know I keep saying it, but seriously, the investment of the signing of this guy, it's going to prove to be an absolutely superb signing. If we keep Pawlowski fit, there is no reason why we couldn't qualify for the Champions League come the end of the season. That's a big statement, yes, but he's already got 10 goals in the Serie A, and this is his 11th game, so absolutely superb season for Pawlowski's having right now, and we're only in November. Still a good chance there for us to make it 2-0 with a shot in wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. There was a good chance for Sassuolo to equalise though, just 7 minutes after the restart. Peluso goes down the right hand side, takes it round his man, plays it inside, but Padelli makes a really good save to deny the Sassuolo player from making it 1-1. So a good stop there by our goalkeeper, and it is still 1-0. And in the 75th minute, Sassuolo played the ball long, but again Padelli makes a really good save. He's had a very good start to the season, our goalkeeper, and he keeps it at 1-0. And just a couple minutes later, as Balanta heads away a long ball, it comes to Martinez off the bench. He picks out Pawlowski, already on 1 goal. He finds Martinez, quick little back heel to Gabbiadini, back to the Venezuelan off the bench, takes it around Akabi down the left hand side with a double step over, rolls it through to Pawlowski, and Pawlowski puts it into the back of the net and makes it Torino 2, Sassuolo 0. So another goal for Pawlowski there, and it's true, keeping this guy fit is the key to our season. He is our main source of goals right now. We just cannot afford to lose this guy to injury or suspension or anything else. He's in such good form. It's his 11th goal in the Serie A already, absolutely superb, and it's Torino 2, Sassuolo 0. So 2 goals up in this game. In the 85th minute, Padelli had to make a good save there after I gave the ball away with Darmian, and thankfully for us, Padelli made the stop to deny Zaza, I think it was, and keep it at 2-0. And in the 86th minute here, as he passed out from the back, Martinez off the bench, fake shots around Ty there, plays the ball through towards Pawlowski, flicks it down to Gabbiadini, he finds Florenzi who shoots, and it ends up hitting the post, and Sassuolo clear. So that would have been a pretty nice goal there, but was still 2-0. And the final chance fell in the 90th minute. Maximovic wins this header from a corner, but it goes harmlessly over the bar and behind for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. So great to bounce back after that goalless draw with Roma and win this game by 2-0. Really, really pleased with that, and it was a good performance, I felt. Sassuolo didn't do too badly themselves. They had some chances, but I feel as though we did deserve the win, and we could have added a third as well with Florenzi's shot hitting the post late on in the game. But my man of the match, despite Poloski scoring 2 goals, did not go to him. It went to Muru. He had an 8.9 rating. He got the assist for our first goal, which Poloski scored, and all in all, he was so solid at the back. Like, seriously, the reason why Sassuolo didn't score was partially down to Padelli playing well, and the other centre-backs, Maximovic and Balanta doing alright too. Perez weren't too bad, but Muru down the left-hand side just shut down everything. He was an absolute monster in that game, going forward and staying back as well. So he won man of the match for me. And the third and final game is our first game against Juventus of the season and the series as well. As you can see, we are 2 points clear at the top of the table against our bitter rivals here as we travel to the Juventus stadium. But this is the game we've been waiting for. As I mentioned, the reason why this Torino career mode could be really, really fun is because we're going to be competing with Juventus both domestically and in Europe as well for years to come. And this is our first battle against our rivals. And the first chance fell here just 3 minutes in as Quagliarella plays a through ball towards Poloski, who does open the scoring inside 5 minutes. What a start we had at Juventus Stadium, or so I thought, because unfortunately for us, despite Poloski finding the back of the net, the goal is disallowed for offside. What a superb start this would have been. Lovely ball by Gabbiadini to Quagliarella. Brilliant through ball as well, and Poloski is just a yard offside. So unfortunate, but a correct decision by the linesman. It's still 0-0. A few minutes later, though, almost a disaster at the back. I gave the ball away, and Tevez' strike goes just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0, but a fast start for both sides in what was surely going to be a very exciting first ever Derby della Mole for us managing Torino. But there was a good chance for Juventus to take the lead here in the 21st minute, and sadly they did as well. 10 minutes ago, Carlos Tevez missed a really good chance, but he's not going to miss this one. The former City striker puts it into the bottom corner and makes it Juventus 1, Torino 0, as the home side get first blood in this game. So devastated about that. It was actually really frustrating because I stood him up quite well with Maximovic once he received the ball, but I just took a little step to the left, sadly. That was enough space for Tevez to fire the ball into the bottom corner and make it Juventus 1, Torino 0. So Juventus strike first in the derby. From kickoff, though, in the second half, we had a great chance to equalise. Poloski on the ball doing some skill, finds Quagliarella who shoots, but it's a simple save for Buffon in the end, and eventually Evra clears the ball away. So good stop by Buffon, patting it down, but he did enough. It was a simple save, but he did enough to keep it at 1-0. But from the clearance from Evra, we win the ball back. Gabbiadini goes for goal from range, and it's not actually too far over the bar, but sadly it was off target and still 1-0. In the 53rd minute, Juventus were still leading by a goal to 0 as we were looking for the equalising goal. Quagliarella picks the ball up here and holds it up before finding Nicola Muru. Goes down left-hand side, swings it across towards Poloski, and his header goes just over the bar and onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick. So despite Juventus leading this game, we were still playing pretty well, but just couldn't find the back of the net. But 20 minutes before the end of the game here, Pogba finds Vidal, who picks out Alvaro Morata. The former Real Madrid man plays it back inside towards Vidal, and the Chilean midfielder strikes the ball just wide the post. So still 1-0 to Juventus, but to be honest, Juventus played really defensively in the second half, and I just couldn't break them down. As opposed to passing the ball around like we usually do, I had to resort to playing long balls forward and trying to win balls in the air. Quagliarella almost scored against his former club here. Buffon denied him with a good save from Quagliarella's header, and it was how the game would finish as well. Juventus 1, Torino 0, and sadly for us, in our first ever Derby della Mole with Torino, we do lose away from home, and Carlos Tevez' strike separates the two sides. It wasn't the most exciting of games, to be honest, but it was enough for Juventus to get the win and retake the lead in the Serie A by a single point. Pereira was my man of the match, didn't give the ball away once, was really, really solid in the middle of the park for Juventus, and also got the assist for the Tevez goal. So frustrated to lose our first ever derby game against Juventus, but it's going to be the first of many. So yes, of course, it's disappointing to lose, but we're away from home, and Juventus were playing pretty well up until this point, and you know they're now ahead of us by 1 point in the Serie A title race. We're still in the first half of the season, but the Serie A league table anyway. But even so, it's the first of many games between us two, and yes, we're disappointed, but I'm sure when we'll take them back home in the second half of the season, we'll give them a really good go and try and get revenge. Regardless, to any episode off, we have a youth squad monthly report and also a squad report as well, so you can see how the players are currently doing. I did mention in the first ever squad report after the transfers were made, I was concerned about Balanta and Florenzi as players that might not develop, and as you can see, despite a few players having really good healthy attribute changes, neither of those seem like they're going to grow. It is so frustrating when players just will not grow, whether they're in good form or not. Both of them are in okay form right now, but they've still had pretty decent starts to the season in terms of the stats they've put in, but even so frustrating, and hopefully I'm proved wrong and they will start to develop but I'm a little bit concerned they might end up being glitched players and have their potentials being locked. Regardless, though, here's a look at the league table. 13 games in, we are 1 point behind Juventus. They are now leading the league after that win against us. We're in second place, but despite that loss, we still had a good start to the season, and if we can finish in second place come the end of the year, we'll call it a very successful one. But that is going to end the episode, guys, so as always, a big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of my new career mode, then please do leave a like, it's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of my new career mode very soon.